Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. We're out in the woods today talking about truckers caps. So I have a selection of 5 truckers caps that we're going to have a look at. Now before I get into it, if you want to fast forward to this point here, this is where I'll have a look at them, each of them individually. But I guess supposed to start off with my head. I've got a 59 to 60 centimeter head. So it is on the large side. I do find with a lot of these I'm right at the kind of the cusp of how big you can get them. As far as the materials, for the vast majority of these, there's a mix of cotton, there's a mix of nylon, there's a mix of polyester, plastic, as you would normally get at the back here as well. So there's quite a wide range. Now as usual, I'll leave some links below so that you can find where you can pick any of these up, but any of the details around, oh actually this company uses polyester, or the next company, oh actually they use nylon instead, then you'll be able to find those details below. I've tried to have a bit of a mix in the selection here, so some of these come from smaller companies, some of these come from international companies, which I guess depending on the world they're all kind of classed as international if you anyway, and then some from larger companies. Then I was gonna say that they're not in any particular order, but I guess they kind of are, because this one, the first one that we're going to have a look at here, this is from a UK company called Book Your Ideas. I was going through Instagram, spotted this. My nana always used to say to me when I was young, she'd be like, you need to book your ideas up, kind of thing, just to give me a kick up the arse. And I saw these and I was like, yeah, I really do like these. So they do have a range. A lot of them are a little bit more kind of retro looking. And I saw this one and it reminded me of Smokey and the Bandit. Was it Roscoe P. Coltrane or whatever his name is? The colours on here. I think there's parts of America like where you have the sheriff's department where they wear kind of like tan and yellow or tan and gold. And I got a massive nostalgia hit, and that's why I picked this one up. So the brim on the front and the bit at the front here, so this is one of the more A-line ones, so rather than the seam coming all the way down, it just comes through the front, which gives it a nice angle there at the front. It also helps to move that away from your forehead to allow your head to allow the air to come in and circulate. So these are all with the same tan colour. At the back here, it might look as though it's white, but it's not. It's more like an off-white or a kind of a magnolia kind of colour. In fact, if I look on the inside there, you can see the inside is lined with white, and then you can see that there's a difference. This white looks very white, and this almost, it looks a little bit dirty, but I don't think that's the right term for it. And then here at the back, your snaps at the back are the same accent colour as this at the back. The badge on the front, you can see there, it says Book Your Ideas, passion, purpose, quality, and then Farmhouse Apparel at the top of there, and then you have this little bit that comes across the front. Now with my 59 centimeter head, I'm on the last 2. So I think with the vast majority of these, I'd like to see a lot more companies doing lines for larger heads. I understand with some of these smaller companies though, because they're smaller companies, it's more of a niche, although it's a growing niche with the gentlemen with large heads. But yeah, really nice. I have started, as you would expect, to sweat in this, so I have got a little bit of a sweat line in there. But what I would say is, because this is a lighter material, when that sweat line starts to appear, it's usually when you've sweat in it and then you've stopped sweating and then it dries. I will say that with this one, it's not as apparent or not as obvious. Now I'm purposely wearing my glasses today to show that if you are the type that likes or wants to make sure if you're wearing glasses, if I put my glasses on properly, if I pull this all the way down, I can get this quite close to them. Now as far as my brim is concerned, I keep my brim as God intended it. I know there's a lot of people that like to kind of crush them in, and I get that, I totally do, I understand that. But with these, for my glasses, and these are reasonably wide glasses, it fits me perfectly. So yeah, this is from Book Your Ideas. Now next up we have another small British company, and this is Doff Your Cap. And again, I like the wordplay with this. I like that, I don't know, with truckers' hats, a lot of these smaller companies like to do something that's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and this is something that also resonated with me. So similar to the other one, so you have two different colours on here. You have your green khaki at the front. By the way, so what I forgot to mention with the vast majority of these is these are a single style from a reasonably large collection that most of these manufacturers have. With Doff Your Cap, I want to say Doff because it's Doff, but it's a play on words with Doff anyway. With Doff Your Cap, this particular style, there are several different colours of these as well, and then they have other styles that have several different colours of those as well. The vast majority of all the ones that we'll have a look at will be the same. So you've got green accent on the front, and then this front panel. Now this is a 6-panel hat rather than it being an A. So all this seam here comes all the way down through the front, and then on the front you have a green doff for I doff my cap. Then at the back here, the mesh on here is a reasonably tough mesh, so it's very good. It's not like some of those floppy ones. It's good at being able to hold its structure. You come around to the back here, and then you have your snaps. So again, for a 59 centimeter, kind of 60 centimeter on days when it's super warm. I'm on the last two. Again, if they started to do these with a larger size, I think that would be greatly appreciated. On the inside, there's your ribbing and stuff on the inside. I have worn this whilst I was away on holiday. Did plenty of sweating in here. The sweat line where it's dried is actually a lot less with this one. It's done a very good job of, when I have this on, being able to kind of take away that sweat line. Now that isn't to say that if you had this in a different colour that you'd put it on, you'd sweat a lot. I think the darker colours, it's a lot easier to see those sweat lines once they've started to dry, but the advantage of a darker colour is you see the sweat line less when it's actually wet and when it's on. Now with the Doff cap, this one does sit a little bit higher, so with the previous hat, when it's on, it sits pretty close to my head. It still allows plenty of air through there, but with the A-frame at the front, it allows more of that air to come forward. With this one, when it's on, it sits a little bit higher on here. There's maybe, I don't know, half a centimetre or a centimetre. I'm just kind of going by feel. But with this one, it allows a lot more air in. Now that's not to say that the previous one doesn't, because at the end of the day, the beauty of a trucker cap is it allows so much air to get into here, and it allows your head to kind of breathe. But with this one, it just lets in that extra little bit more. These are really nice. This was the first one that I bought. Now with this one, similar to the previous one, with my glasses on, I can pull this all the way down to get as much protection from the sun as possible. Now obviously I could pull it down, which would look just a little bit weird anyway, but having this on with my glasses, there's still, you know, a lot of protection. I'd say in fact all of the ones that we've got today, I'd consider them all to be kind of, I don't know if the term is glasses safe. But with Doff cap, they have a few different versions of their trucker caps as well. So there's almost a newer style. I don't know how you describe it, but instead here at the back you have a cloth section, but then there's actual holes in it rather than it being mesh like this. You see a lot of golfers kind of wearing those style hats, or you see a lot of fishermen wearing them as well. The ones that, I know, fishing out in Miami, the only ones that I can think of, because here in the UK you have to have a big kind of hat because of all the rain. Anyway, yeah, so they have those style hats as well. I haven't had one of those, but with how much I like this hat, I'm probably going to pick one of those up as well. So yeah, so there you go. This is from Doff cap. Now next up we have a trucker cap from Wiley X. Now there are a few different styles of these. So I think this was sent to me from Military First via Wiley X when I made some content on the Wiley X glasses. And this is the one that I went for, but what you'll see on the website is they're all the trucker caps. They've all kind of got the same range of different colours. But what you'll see, there's a slight difference just where the branding is. I wanted one with this one that was just a little bit more kind of low-key and a little bit more subtle. So it just says Wiley X here just over the brim. And it is genuinely quite subtle. It's not kind of a large brand that jumps out in front of you. I think with the book your ideas, the way that they've integrated the brand into the front, it doesn't look like it's a brand. Whereas with the Doff cap, you are just wearing their brand logo here on the front of your head. With the Wiley X version, you're still doing that. I'd be lying if I said that you weren't. However, it's a lot more subtle and it just fits over the brim there. Now, as mentioned, so there are a few different versions of this. There's one where you've got a big logo in the middle. I think there's one where there's a larger logo to the side and it's just the Wiley X logo. Then you've got this where it says Wiley X and it's a lot larger and it comes across the front. So depending how you want to buy your hat, depending how you want to rock it, depending on how okay you are with kind of big brand logos, because I know there's a lot of people that just don't want to have those brand logos, then there's plenty of choice for you. This again with my 59 centimeter hat ahead. I'm on the second to last one on here. Fits just about right. There's plenty of colours or colour options with this. I went for the green version because, as you can see, I do like to wear a lot of green or black. So you have green on the brim, you have green on the top here. This is a 6-panel one as well, so this seam goes all the way down the front. Now the mesh on the back here is slightly different to the mesh on the previous two that we've looked at. If I was to give the previous two a name, I'd say it's more like a traditional one. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, or you wear a lot of trucker hats, then you know it's that kind of, it's a little bit more rigid. Whereas this, it's a lot more kind of floppier is the word that I'm thinking, but it's less rigid. So if you're traveling with a hat and you want to be able to stow this away a little bit easier, then this one, out of all of them, actually there's another one, but this one is very easy to be able to kind of throw into your bag. And yeah, super comfortable. With this one, similar to the first hat that we looked at, this one sits a little bit closer to my head. In fact, this one is it's touching my scalp. But I've not found that I've had any irritation. As you can see, I am a member of the follically challenged community, so I haven't got a lot of hair underneath here that I really do have to worry about, but it does sit a little bit closer. Now I will say that doesn't add any sort of extra heat or any warmth or anything like that, because it's still mesh on 4/6 of the actual construction of this, so it lets in plenty of air. I'm a big fat sweaty bar steward during the summer, and you know it gives me the ventilation that I need. Now again, similarly with all of the others, so if I pull this down right down to the bottom so that it's touching my glasses, again I would say that this is perfectly glasses safe. So yeah, this is a trucker hat from Wiley X. Now this fourth one is different and addresses some of the issues that I've had with the first three. And that is the fact that the first three are designed for a standard noggin. This one is their big fit. So with all of the other hats, they've all been on the second to last rung on the pegs. With this one, hopefully you can see, I mean, if I was to put this on the second to last one, I could fit this on my head and some. These are designed specifically for the large noggin. Now let's get this back in the right place. Where did I have it? It was there. This is from a Swedish company. Now, I'd never come across this company before. I found them on, it was either Hat Store or Hat Shack, whatever it is. And they're called, I hope I get this right. In fact, I don't even know how it's pronounced. SQRTN. It's SQRTN. So it's like the word squirting or squirt on, but they've removed the vowels. But yeah, really nice. I actually really do like this. In fact, I saw this, bought it immediately, and there's another couple that I'm going to buy of these as well. If it is that you have a large head, these are awesome. Now, similarly to the first one from Book Your Ideas, there was a huge nostalgia hit with this one. It really does remind me, and it's the way that it's done. So on the front here, you can see that it says think outside, no box needed, and it's got some camping kind of stuff on here. It's got that kind of Yosemite Park ranger look and feel to it, and it was exactly what drew me towards this. Now, with the Book Your Ideas, it got the same tan across the top here and then onto the brim, whereas with this one you've got tan and then you've got brown across the brim with the gold kind of logo on the front there. With this, the branding is also reasonably small. It just says SQRTN Company there, and actually I didn't know if I showed you this. All these, they've all got like a little tag here at the back that says what the company is, and then generally on the inside where the stitching's been done, there's a bit in here. It says Sweden SQRTN Company from Moorland, which I thought was really cool, because that must be the land of the north in Sweden sent to the land of the Moors here in the Moorlands, which again, I saw this and I was like, yeah, I have to have this. Now, as previously mentioned, the beauty of this 100% comes down to its size. Not that I have, and I've mentioned previously, any difficulty with air being able to get in and circulate around my head with any of the others, but because they're a little bit closer to my head, then that air coming in is fraction less. With this, I can literally feel the wind blowing around my my hair-free. Well, there's a little bit of hair there, but I can feel it just kind of rushing around in there. Now there is quite a gap. There's this with this one. The Doff cap has probably got the kind of second largest, where you've got maybe, I don't know, half a centimetre to a centimetre. With this, you've got way more. You've got way more than a centimetre. So if you've got a lot of hair, you've got some big kind of bushy hair as well, then you can get one of these. The beauty also is as well that SQRTN have two versions of this. I think they've got a few because they've got different colours. But you can have the normal sized head version, which is the same as all the others. It's the same measurements. Or you can go for the large noggin version, which I have here. And yeah, if you've got a big head, then, you know, there's one for each and every person in the world. I genuinely really do like this one. And the main reason that I do is, one, because of the size, but two, with all of the others, because you're on the last two prongs or the last two pins, if it is that you're getting hot through the day, sometimes you have to just readjust it. You have to open it or close it, and the more you do that on all of these hats, this is the part that dies the first. The plastics in these have got a lot better. Back in the 80s, the plastics were a bit brittle and a bit shite, so once you'd done it and it just kept snapping, then you just wouldn't be able to do it again. Whereas with this one, I can put it on this setting, which is actually a little bit too big, but there's more room in here for my head to swell or to decrease in size. So I put this on, and since I've owned this, I've never changed the size, apart from just actually when I took it open and I put it in that ridiculous size. Whereas with the others, I might find that I do have to bring it in because my head's got cold, it's shrunk a little bit, or my head's got hotter, it's expanded a little bit. Whereas this one, absolutely no issues with it whatsoever at all. So I am definitely going to be out next year. I'll do a follow-up to this piece of content, and there will probably be a few more from these, from SQRTN Company. By the way, if anybody's from Sweden and you know how this is pronounced, if you could type it out phonetically underneath, or it's like, I don't know, it's like carrot, but you say it with a P kind of thing. That would be awesome, and I'll try and make it better next year so I can say it right. But yes, so this is the think outside, no box needed cap, extra large. No, it's not. It's not even extra large. It's big fit from SQRTN Moorland, Sweden. Now, last but definitely not least, we have the notch cap. Now, this addresses a couple of issues that people have with a traditional trucker's cap. Now, the hat itself, similarly to all of the ones that we've seen today, or at least a few of the ones that we've seen today, so this is a 6-panel, so rather than coming to an A-frame at the front, which, by the way, the last one that we looked at from SQRTN, that was an A-frame one. This one, the seam here comes all the way down to the front. It's made again from a mix of different materials. Softer one here that's actually against your head, and then you've got your mesh here at the back. I mentioned with the one from Wiley X that was the only one that was just a little bit softer, and then realised that this was the other one that's also a little bit softer. So if you need to be able to throw this into a hat, or at least throw this into a bag and not worry so much that it's not going to keep its size, it is one that's actually also a little bit easy to be able to do that. So the colours on here, colours available, these have, I think it's just one model, or there might be a couple of models, because it all works around this notch here on the front, which is why it's called the notch hat, the notch cap. But it depends on whether you want one that's more of a traditional one, or whether you want one where, or at least a trucker's cap, or whether you want one where the material goes all the way around it. I liked this one. There was a few different versions that I was coming and R-ing, but I went for the US Woodland because it's a nice camo. I really do like this camo. But then at the back here, you've got your synthetic mesh. What this has is, so on the back here you've got some hook and loop, so just in case you wanted to attach something there you can do. On the front here there's also some hook and loop, but what they've done is, so within the hook and loop, this you've got your notch logo on here. So I'd say out of all of them, as far as branding is concerned, this notch cap, or notch trucker's cap, is probably the least kind of in your face branded of them all. Now what this addresses is 2 points. The first one being that these notches are cut into the brim here purposely, so that if you have your glasses on, all of the ones that we've pulled down have been able to get down reasonably close, whereas this bit cuts into where your glasses are, so that you can get this a little bit further down. Now I will say with that though, because I wear the brim of my cap as it kind of comes out of the box, there's only a few pairs of glasses that I've got, and I've got lots of glasses that actually need this. If you're the type that likes to fold this down more, this hat probably is more effective for you guys, because if I pull that in there like that, you can see that my glasses have gone, oh my fingers are in the way, that my glasses have gone into that notch. I don't tend to do that, so I've not been able to take advantage of the notch as much as some other people have to. Now the other thing, and it absolutely baffles me that more companies haven't done this, and that's the fact that they've ditched the normal kind of trucker's cap back, and instead they've gone with Velcro. So instead of being in between a size, which again, yeah, my mum was cursed when I was born. I'm sure she was. She ran over a gypsy and was cursed. I am Mr. in between sizes. So when I put one on and I move it ever so slightly, it's ever so slightly too big, and if I move it the other way ever so slightly, it's probably ever so slightly too small. Velcro, baby, science! You can get this so that it's perfectly right. And plus, the Velcro on here, rather than being the old-fashioned Velcro, This is the new Velcro that's like it's like a cat's tongue kind of rough. So you could keep changing this and keep changing this and keep changing this, and the bit at the back, it's not going to wear down as much as some others. Now I know I say keep changing it. You're not going to be changing it 15 times a day. But if you've had a hat that you've had for several years, then you'll start to see that wear and tear on it if it is that it's Velcro. Whereas this being the new style Velcro means that you can do it a hell of a lot more and not have to worry too much about it. I guess what it also means is you could probably repair most of these, but if you needed to take this back to somewhere, or I know Mrs. Moorlander could probably do this as well. She could unpick this, put another little strip of Velcro back on there, and then be able to fix this hat for me. Now, as I'm saying this, the vast majority of these hats aren't particularly expensive. They all range around the kind of 25 to 35 pounds here in the UK, which is probably roughly the same in euros, probably roughly the same in dollars. They're not particularly expensive items to buy. But yeah, I really like these. And so there you go. I kind of went off on a bit of a weird tangent there at the end, but this is my trucker hat collection. I have made some content on the past previously about the boonie hats that I own, because I've got a stupid amount of boonie hats. But this was the first year that I started to get into trucker hats. My daughter Heidi was like, "You actually look quite good in those, Dad." And I was like, "Do you know what? My daughter doesn't give me compliments that often, and if she likes me in these caps, then I'll buy some more." But yeah, all really nice hats. The downside also is the fact that you've got this back bit open, so you do have to be a little bit careful, because it does mean that your head can still burn. But for me, from how sweaty I get in the summer, I'm happy that it allows a little bit more air in, and I'll just slap on some suntan lotion. I'll be right. Yeah. Anyway, so which one was your favoritist? Is there one that you like the most? Is there a style that you like the most? Do you like those kind of nostalgic ones? Do you prefer the ones that are a little bit kind of tongue-in-cheek, but not childish, but a little bit kind of tongue-in-cheek? Or is something like the notch cap the perfect evolution of where the trucker cap should be, because you've got the notch and you've got the hook and loop at the back? Love to hear your thoughts, and I'd also like to hear your suggestions. I'm definitely going to pick up another squirting hat, might even pick up a couple of those, but if you've got some other suggestions on other truckers caps that I might have missed out, yeah, I'd love to hear your suggestions. Now, as mentioned previously, all of those links will be below so that you can see where you can pick all of these up from. I think pretty much every single one of these, there's either international shipping or there's someone somewhere around the world that will probably stock one of these. I'll leave some of my social media links below so you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC, and my sister channel Moorlander Tactical, where I look at more kind of tactical items. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Bloody fly landed on me. Here's a fun fact. The trucker cap was invented here in the Kingdom of the Moorlands. It was a Kingdom of the Moorlands invention. In 1271 BC, there was a German migrant that came to the Kingdom of the Moorlands, and he invented it here. He even wrote a book called I Invented the Trucker Cap. And in there he put that whilst in Germany he'd never had this idea. He came to the Kingdom of the Moorlands, loved the place, and for whatever reason he had this epiphany about this cap that he wanted to make. So yeah, it was specifically, although he's a German migrant, it was made and thought up of here in the Kingdom of the Moorlands. Now his name was Henrik Drucker. So for thousands of years it was referred to as the Drucker cap, but during the late kind of 1900s, when it moved over to the US, as happens a lot, the people of the US misunderstood how it was pronounced. So instead of Drucker, they called it the trucker hat. But by that point the damage was done and people had started to call it the trucker cap. So it, yeah, they started to use the term trucker cap. But yeah, the actual name after the guy that invented it, Heinrich Drucker, is the Drucker cap, and yeah, invented here in the Kingdom of the Moorlands. The more you know. In fact, that's a fact. Prove me wrong. Find something somewhere on the internet that says that's a lie. Please. Anyway, I hope you're all good. I'm not sure what day this is coming out, but whatever day it comes out, I hope you're all good. Yeah, I'll see you all soon. Oh, don't forget, stay tuned after the bloopers to say thanks to the channel members. Love you lots.